Hi guys, and welcome to the African Unite First. If this is your first time here, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Right, if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. Like, share, and hit the bell notification so whenever I upload, you'll be notified. If you want to be part of our offline meeting, the Solution Code, where we talk about really very important issues that are affecting us as Black people globally, please go ahead and write me an email, follow me on Instagram. The link will be in the description of this video. Right, so today's topic is the Black woman is God. Now, this is a continuation of the Black woman is God. This is the part 2 of the continuation of part 1, right? So if this is your first time here, please go ahead and you can go ahead and watch the part 1 of this title, this video, right? So there's a part 1, so please go ahead and watch that one, and we can proceed from there. Right, so we have a very important guest that will be joining us, right? So while we wait on our guest, I want to talk a little bit about some men, right? Particularly the Black men. So, when when their thought is being challenged about what they usually know, it comes off to them as an attack and stuff like that. So instead of them to sit down and do research about the things that has been fed to them, like given to them, right? They pretty much come and they want to attack. These are men that all their lives they've been eating meat. So the first time they will ever try eating a bone, all their teeth will fall off, right? Because they cannot withstand that. So what am I saying in essence is that feeble minds, men with emotions, always on their feelings, because all the time you get to hear men say that women are so emotional, but that's a lie, and it is the other way around. In fact, men are the most emotional people, right? So today's topic is pretty much challenging for some men to accept, right? Because again, the lie that has been sold for generations and for years, it is time for we to to unblock this lies and start putting the truth, because you cannot know the truth and still run with the lies. You cannot know the truth and still go ahead with the lies. It is really, really not possible. So the reason for this video is to awaken the Black woman, is to awaken the consciousness of the Black woman, because it is important that they awake and know who they truly are, for them to know that they are the true God. Now, there is no such thing as a he, God being a he. There is no such thing as such, right? The original gods were a she, right? Is a she. Everything was changed. Everything was turned upside down. And many of you who are religious, and those of you, in the Bible, there are some truth to the Bible. I will show you these things, right? Some truth, but it was turned upside down so that you don't understand these things, right? The truth was there in plain sight for you to see, but what they did, they mesmerize it through the patriarchic system. Those are the things they use. So I want you to study about the patriarchic system. It is very, very important that you know this. And this video is particularly for Black women to know thyself, to wake up. All right? Now, for the men who are feeble-minded, very emotional, not willing to accept the truth, I mean, you will not have a choice. It's either you accept the truth or you remain, you remain with the lies, or you run with the lies that has always been given to you or fed to you. All right. So I just want to address this first before I proceed to the topic. So today's topic again is the Black Woman is God, part 2. All right. And the head of the family. So remember, I mean, if you look at all these settings about the man is the head of the family, the man is this, the man is that, I want you to take a pause and begin to ask yourself certain questions, right? Certain questions, because these things were turned upside down. It was turned the other way around, right? And who turned this thing? These were men who did all of these things. But again, the truth is very important, both for the Black man and for the Black woman, to understand these truths so that we can be able to put things in perspective until the woman, the Black woman, rise up and rise up to the top of the pyramid. Nothing is going to change, because what they've done, they've turned it upside, they've turned and brought the woman to the bottom of the pyramid, and why they placed the men at the top of the pyramid. And we'll begin to find out why. Now, for some of you women that you're wondering, like, according to your religious belief, they've told you that your menstruation, right, is as a result of you not being clean. It's as a result of, a whole bunch of things. You sinned. You've done this. We'll begin to find out some of these things, right? And why this lie were being sold, and being pushed for decades. So it is high time we challenge ourselves, sit down and, research this truth. I am not saying that you should just accept everything I'm saying. What I'm saying is go and do your own research and come with your facts if everything I'm saying is wrong. But please do your research, but don't come with your feelings and emotions, because I don't care about those things. All right. Hi, Simone, I see you. Hi, Jana, I see you. All right. Now let's look at the female body. Let's look at the female body. The female body retains the characteristics of youth much longer than does the male body. Most of the deterioration and the signs of age show less in the female body than they do in the male body. Women can easily hold their breath without deterioration of cell structure, deprived of oxygen, and less suffocated than men. And women can easily endure cold weather on a general basis better than men, and can adjust to heat temperature when the tummy starts works correctly more than men. Now let's look at menstruation. Why women, particularly the Black women, why you started menstruating? Because in the previous video, I stated that ancient African women never or did not menstruate. All right. Let's look at why you started menstruating. What went wrong? What were the causes? All right. Why you started menstruating and all of these things, right? So begin to understand certain things, so that you will understand yourself as a woman. You will understand your role as a woman. You will understand your place as a woman. Your place was being switched. It was switched by the men. They put you at the bottom of the pyramid. Why they put themselves on the top of the pyramid? And we will begin to find out who are the people that were responsible for this. what ideologies, and who are the people that set up these ideologies, we will begin to understand all of these things. And I challenge you to please go ahead and do more research and know thyself. Because once the woman comes to their conscious mind, to their conscious self, because originally the God of the world is a woman, a black woman. All right. So until the God is being placed on the top of the pyramid, nothing would change. Nothing would change. All right. So let's go on. Now, why did the black woman started menstruating? Let's look into menstruation. Now, menstruating women lose calcium, tyrosine, iodine, phosphorus, lecithin, vitamin E, vitamin B1, 6, 12, 2, 6, magnesium, iron, copper, zinc. Calcium stabilizes the nervous system. Phosphorus is found in all healthy, normal cells. Iodine causes the growth and weakness of the thyroid gland. And this is why the thyroid gland in women tends to swell during menstruation. Again, I'm going to repeat that because some of you, when your thyroid gland swells, you run to the doctor. You go and give your money, waste your money to the doctors. So because that is where the problem is starting. So you don't have to do all of those things, right? I'm going to repeat that again, right? Iodine causes the growth and weakness of the thyroid gland. And this is why the thyroid gland in women tends to swell during menstruation. All right? Menstruation is not a cleansing process. For those of you, for those, according to the ancient Hebrews and the Old Testament, right, that states that that they said that menstruation was unclean, and a woman should be confided to cleanse of her issues. But a lot of these books, was tempered by a patriotic society. I believe all the black women should go and do your research about the patriotic society. It is very important that you study about this. So menstruation is not a cleansing process. It is only the result of the deterioration of the egg unfertilized. All right? Now, some women are on a constant messes. Some women are on a constant messes, right? From puberty till death. And you wonder why some women are very agitative, get dizzy, and have migraine headache. And if anyone suffers, such loss from puberty to death, I wonder why most men are wondering why some women, according to how some of them they stated, that they act crazy. I wonder why they're surprised. Again, if the messes stop or the blood lose, and even the alkaline nutrients lose, stop. Now, this is what all sees. This is what will happen, right? The woman will become very strong. They also could give birth to babies without a man being around. Now, there is where the problem started. That is where the problem started. And this is the problem of women that we should, finding the solution to. And it started as a result of you trusting the Western system, health system, the doctors, the foods. You deviated and you start, trusting and depending on these things, right? That is where the whole problem started. That is where the whole problem started. But I want you to follow me again. It has to do with the patriotic system. I want you to go and study about the patriotic system, guys. Now, in the year 1955, 4 prominent British doctors of medicine who goes by the name Dr. Stanley Belfolin, Dr. Menon Kamba, Dr. David Wynne Williams, all studied some 10 classical cases of virgin birth. Now let's go back a little to the Bible. They talked about the Virgin Mary that gave birth to Jesus, right? That was what the Bible said. But there is some truth to the virgin giving birth. But where the patriotic system, where they changed and they lied and they pushed this false, doctrine, was where they said that it was the Holy Spirit. A spirit came and impregnated the virgin. I'm just stating that the right way, the ancient and the right way before, it was virgin women giving birth without men, without a sperm. All right? So whose ideologies that came about this, we'll talk about that. Let me finish about this, right? So these doctors, right, they studied these 10 classical cases of virgin birth and agreed that all 10 of them were real, all right? Meaning women could give birth to babies with this, without the sperm of a man. Now question, who proposed the theory or ideology about sperm and egg as the original formation of giving birth? We're about to find out who did that. Now, the answer is Dr. Edward Bischoff, MD, started this modern day theory. It is just modern, it is not ancient, because a lot of us thought that, oh, this was really ancient. It has always been like this. No, this was the man who started this theory, Dr. Edward Bischoff. He was the one who started this ideology and theory about sperm and egg, right? Okay, now he started this modern theory of epigenesis in 1854. That is the zygote and the uterine development by using a sperm and egg was the way that humans get started. Before Bischoff theory became accepted, it was presented on a paper as a theory, not accepted as a fact. Later on, male doctors and those who studied under male made it a fact. That is the way pregnancies started. They made it a fact that is the way pregnancy started, but those were all lies. All right? Those were all lies. So I want you to understand that these things, these theories that were set up by the male to say these were the actuality, these were the original way that, pregnancies started. That's a lie. That's a lie. Women or virgin could give birth without a man being around, without sperm, and all of these things, right? So I have talked about this a little in my previous video. So our guest this year, without further ado, I'm going to invite him. I'm going to bring him in, all right? Hello.
Hi.
You're very much welcome, Brother Takunda Kamba. I hope I pronounced that very well.
Yes, you did. You did. I don't need any introduction. I was just sitting. It's good sometimes to sit being a viewer, I saw you explained it so well. You really broke it into pieces. Yeah, it was very so overwhelming. Yeah, I can see the chat room. Our sisters are kind of like interested. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So, I
very
mean,
good.
I think it is very important that the Black woman understand themselves. You know, they come back to self-consciousness, right? Because
Yes.
the war against the Black woman is literally very, very high on all levels, on our levels. So how can the Black woman come back to consciousness and being placed back to the top of the pyramid? Because currently the Black woman is placed at the bottom of the pyramid. So what went wrong, and how can this be corrected?
Oh, that's a very good question. Okay, how can this be corrected? It's gonna start by us, especially African men, acknowledging that it was the other way around. We were helpers to the to the women. Uh, they were actually like leaders. We were helpers to them. So it started by us acknowledging that, which is gonna be taking a little bit time, but it started us by acknowledging that, and also by helping this leader that she was always teaching uh, black men, how to the way like how to be. She was teaching him about everything. So it started by us as men admitting to ourselves, one, so that we can able things they can able to fall into place. Because without that, without acknowledging this, without acknowledging that this true, I don't see us regaining our power, regaining our heyday, so that we can take out this black woman out of in the bottom of the pyramid, so that we can put him there. So it starts by that. I know it's very kind of like to admit to myself, but it started by us accepting it, and also, which is gonna be a little bit difficult because we were fed a lie for too long. When you are fed a lie for too long, it becomes reality. But it started by us acknowledging the mistake that let me just say, not the mistake, the purposely done to diminish this woman, this goddess. So it started by us also acknowledging that. That's what I would want to say, that it started by us. We must acknowledge these things so that we can able to go to our high days, so that we can be recognized in the galaxy, in the universe as a race, so that we cannot go on this cycle. Because it was a black woman, she was teaching us how to preserve the nature, not to harm, not to dig the land, mess up the mother earth, with oil and diamonds. Right now they are raping the land because the leadership was messed up. Right now, that's why the earth now is things are happening like this. That's why now this so-called ozone layer, she's now fighting back, that she's not recognized, and she's now fighting back. So I think it's about that acknowledgement. And also, when black women becoming in front, I'm seeing it's like things that begin to fall into places. They begin to fall into places. I think also as men, we must swallow our pride, and also this prejudice that we were fed for so much long, for decades, I think for hundreds and hundreds of years, so that's when we can able to start evolving and also progressing. Otherwise, I don't want to lie, we can talk, we can go to so many seminars, we can do whatever we want to do, but if we don't address this foundation and put it straight, they know if it's made straight, things are gonna definitely change. So we must put this foundation straight. Yes, and you explained it so well. All those things, which I don't want to repeat what you have said, but you explained it so well. I was spare. So yeah, we must address those things. We must acknowledge our mistakes and also our wrongs. We must acknowledge for us to able to do so. I know, for me, when I begin to know this, it was not easy to accept it, because when I grew up, I was told that no, she was taken out of your rib, and then the benevolent creator created him out of that. So when I heard that, I was like, huh? Let me research more. That's when I begin to acknowledge that, you know what? This is the truth. That's why we say Mother Earth, Mama Africa, the mother of all the gods, the mother of all the universe. So all those things, we must acknowledge these things. And also one thing, women, they adapt quicker. You know, they are more spiritual than us men. This is a fundamental truth. My sister, she has more dreams. She dreams more than even me. Some I know. It's very crazy. She's more spiritual than me. Even no matter, she doesn't need to focus. Like I have to like dig and study and do that. For her, it comes like that automatically. So I think it's high time we address this role that was put in there.
Right. Because when we are looking into the roles of the gender roles, right? When it comes to these things that have been beaten into us, these lies that they have been perpetuating and pushing for decades, right? So how can we be able to, how can we be able to correct these mistakes, right? Again, you talked about the men bringing their egos down and all of these things, because the previous time we talked about this, right? We talked about that, and you mentioned the rib, right? Again, how can let's look into that religion, that has to do with the woman came out of a man. Now, a lot of us are still in this I don't know how to call it, in this fairy tale, or in this type of this world that it doesn't exist. Why don't you take sit down and look at nature and try to make comparison for yourself. Try to think logical, when it comes to certain things that has been fed to you. They have a lot of people that, sometimes many of these pastors, many of these people, they pay them money, to come on and continue with the lie to make it look like it's real. But these things are not real. These things are all fake. These things are lies that they have been, pushing for decades, because they know that a conscious Black woman can change the world, because she is the God of the world. She is the one that created everything. Everything came out of her. Life came out of her. You understand? So it's not the other way around. A man cannot produce life. A man has no ability to produce life. And again, we stated about the theory and the story, the fairy tale about Adam and Eve. You understand? They said that it was a man out of the rib of a man. We all know that a man has nothing about reproduction. He cannot reproduce nothing, absolutely nothing. A woman, a man came out of a woman came out of a man. A man cannot reproduce a woman, neither can a man reproduce a man. So how is it possible that a man, a woman, or a living entity can come out of a man? Now, the only time, now listen to this now, a woman cannot depend on a man to create babies. In fact, during the ancient times,
Yeah.
women were making babies. Virgins were giving birth. These things were turned upside down. That's why they put to you that it was the Holy Spirit who's made the Virgin Mary to give birth. The truth was there, but they turned it upside down, right? They claimed it was a virgin, it was a Holy Spirit, whereas there was an ability. The woman can actually give birth as a virgin. And this theory, I have just read it. That in the year 1955, this theory was carried out. It was a fact, not a theory. It's a fact that was carried out by 4 prominent British doctors, that they've confirmed that a virgin could give birth to children, right, without a sperm. Now, who brought the idea of sperm and egg? It was Dr. Edward Bischoff. He was the one that came with this theory about how humans, came into creation or whatever, that it has to do with the sperm, it has to do with it. But in the ancient time, it didn't have to be like that. All right. Now look at it this way, right? A man can only depend on the egg of a woman. The sperm of a man can only depend on the egg of a woman to reproduce.
Yes.
But the woman does not need the sperm to reproduce.
That's
So
the truth.
without the woman, the man is absolutely what? Now you make that completion. You complete the statement.
Yeah, let me make it that complete. He is actually uh nothing. Nothing, to be honest. So
Right.
the human race will just like end. Though we just end like that. We just
Right. And
end.
again,
Yeah, I know it's a very painful truth because we were fed this prejudice, this patriarch, but we can't produce anything. You can't produce a woman from a man, but you can produce a man from a woman. So which means the human race ends. That's it. It finished. So that's one thing that I think, yeah, I know it's hard to admit, but I know that is the truth because I've been researching it. It's now like for years, but now it's hard to admit, But I think I'm now a little bit better. I'm getting rid of the prejudice. I'm starting accepting it a little bit. Yeah, accepting the truth because it was hard to swallow. The truth sometimes it's very hard to swallow it.
yeah.
It's very hard to swallow it because especially when you were indoctrinated, when you were fed this thing consistently, when it was beaten into your ancestors, and then it became like that. We were told that never question your ancestors, never
Right.
question what your parents told you. All those things. But when you focus in all this religion, when you see behind them, there is always the feminine energy. I think we talked about the dung beetle scarabit,
Right.
the one that the dung beetle, it can lay eggs without a mate, but when it gets a mate, that's when it lays eggs and it dies.
It dies. Right.
So all those things. So that's why the Egyptians. That's when actually the true that's when the lies started there. When ancient Greece was invading Egypt, that's when the true was going diminishing in this earth. That's when the ancient Egyptian, they love that symbol. You see this goddess with wings, and also the dung beetle scarabit also with wings also as well. So they knew that. That's why it was their symbol, which means they always acknowledge that. And also, I think when you watch so many people, so many prominent people like Credo Muta and all certain stuff. So yeah, it is difficult for me to admit to myself, but I'm no longer embarrassed about that, because before I was a little bit embarrassed, but no, I have realized that that's the only truth. That is our salvation. I think that is the only way we can able to. It's not a conspiracy theory. That is the truth. So for those who want to accept it, let them accept it. For those who don't want to accept it, it's up to you. But the truth always stand the truth. That's why now it's now coming to haunt us. That's when we're having problems, you see, because the truth was hidden for too long. But sometimes, and also this is the theory that my mother gave me. You always suppress something that is greater than you. You never suppress something that is lesser than you. So that's why there was this putting the black woman, in the bottom of the pyramid. You can never suppress something that it's in top of you, behind you. You always do what is in front of you and then put it back. So that's one. Those are the things that people, when they want, if they are saying, "Oh no, that's not the truth. That is a-hole." No, you must. It will tell you by itself. Even in the elephants, elephants. There is a matrix. The grandmother of all the elephants, she's the one that she leads all the herds. She knows where there is water, she goes. She's a decision maker. So nature says it by itself. Nature says it by itself. We cannot give life. That is a fact. If we are only men in the planet, when we die, that's the end of the human race. That's the end of the soul. You see. So we must come to the point where we admit to ourselves that, we were fed a lie. We must come to the realization, because otherwise I don't think we'll be done. So those who accept it, let us accept this truth. Those who will not accept it, we're not going to force it on anybody. But that is the fundamental truth. And also do your own research also as well. Like you, I love what you were the names of the doctors. I think also the viewers, they can go and research those names. They'll see those articles. They are there.
Right. Again, the reason why this Dr. Edward Bischoff, right, the one who came with the epigenesis in 1854, meaning that the zygote and uterine development was by a sperm and an egg, coming together before that's when the human race started. Now, what happened was that they were really afraid that their should I call it a race as a man is going to an extinction, right? So because the woman can decide whether the man can actually, be on earth or go on an extinction, right? It is a woman who can decide that, whether they want the men to still be around the earth or they want them to just go on station, maybe to go and rest, take a nap.
When I heard that, when I researched that, I was like, what? Yeah. I think she's the woman. She's very loving.
Right.
We must, and I think she's very forgiving. That's why I always want to take my time. When I started knowing this truth, I asked for forgiveness.
Exactly.
Like, what, we must repent from this, from our lack of knowledgement. So when the truth is presented, it's up to you. Take it, research it, and then come out with your own truth. So because to be honest, for so many years she's been suppressed and suppressed and suppressed. Yes, she can decide actually to. When I heard that, it was a shocking. It was a shocking. I did that research by myself. I was like, what? It was a shocking. So I think we must come to a realization that, hey, we were wrong. Let's fix this tragedy, this abomination that we have done to these goddesses, to this universal prime creator. I think now she's gonna fight back. She's fighting back. That's why perhaps we might see climate change. Actually, I don't think it's climate change. She's now fighting back this raping of her land. It's been raped too much, so she's now fighting back. So I think we must come to the realization that we made a mistake and we must get rid of our prejudice, as men especially.
Right, because when you made mention of the leadership, right? Because you talked about the woman is loving, the woman is caring, and all of those things. Because those are actually the attributes of leaders, right? So because when you see them come out being very calm, very soft, very loving, caring, and all of these things, the men are always there stating, most of them, that the women are weak. They termed it as weakness. They termed it as weakness. They term this their oppressiveness, and this they're always putting down the woman and coming, because like you stated, and I have previously stated, that you cannot be threatened by what is lesser than you. You cannot be threatened by what is beneath you. You can only be threatened by what you feel and you think is superior to you, or you feel that something that is more threatening to you. That is the only time you can be threatened, right?
Yeah. And what you see, sometimes you can see and you can feel it, that it threatens me. It threatens my dominance. So that's why they feel threatened. So yeah. That is the truth. I know it's a hard truth. It's very painful. We must come to this realization.
Right. So again, the women should understand that the medical system, the white coded lies, this is where the problem started, right? This is where the problem started. Because the food you used to eat, I want to talk about the ancient African women, right, from the
Yeah.
from West Africa and East Africa and all of this, who happens to be the tallest in the world, about 7 to 8 feet tall, strong,
Yeah, the Nambi women, the
yeah,
Tutani women.
right.
Yeah, actually the Ndambi women, the Tutani, and also coming down here on Southern Africa, and also all the, they used to eat medicinal food, organic food, and also when it's meat, not meat with vaccines and everything, so their mind, because sometimes vaccines, they go in straight into your mind, and then they shut down your pineal gland and also your makaba. Makaba, it means to be one with the universe. So it shuts down all that. So when it did that, like there was a woman that is called Hindua Gandhi, but not Gandhi, Hindua Gandhi. She never menstruated, but when she started practicing the Eurocentric, she started having menstruation, and then she regretted it later. She's like, oh my God, and then she had to go back. But so those are the things also that I would say to the feminine woman, to the melanated women, that there are some practices that are now also making you to have these diseases, these feelings, all these menstruation and everything that you are having is because of you are not eating the proper diet, the diet that you used to eat, the things that you used to do. So I think also as well for you also to regain these heydays, even the oracle women, they didn't, all that we can go and on. They were more. When I researched, they were even more advanced. They were the gatekeepers of the planet, of the universe. They were the gatekeepers. So, oh gosh, I always pray, or I wish, my prayer is the universal prime creator can pour this wisdom within you, so that you can able to so that we can come to our heydays as men, because you brought life from this world. So without you guys recognizing who you are, I don't see us going anywhere. So I will urge with you, melanated women, so that you can able do your research, so that we can able to go to our heydays. Believe me, I believe, because they penetrate, when they destroy that, that's when we had slavery, that's when we had all those things. And also men, we are not patient, but women, they tolerate. You see, so I think you have tolerated us so much, even though we put you in the bottom of the pyramid, but you still tolerate us. I think it's the creator, the life that comes out of you. But I think you are running out of patience. But please, some of us, we are now recognizing our mistake. So I think, be more patient with us. Don't obliterate us out of existence. Don't obliterate it out of existence. I know. We are now, I think we are now evolving. We are now accepting this. Yeah.
Of course, we will remember you in our kingdom, Brother Takunda, for at least you're coming to terms with the truth and accepting, not like so many who are just, they're still in their in their, how do I put it, in their dreams, and in their dreams, and they're still sleeping, and they don't even want, they're not ready, they don't want to wake up. If you wake them up, that's a problem, right? So when the black man turn away from the black woman, right, what happens is that you're actually turning away from God, because that is the God right there, because they've lied to you that God is a he, God is a she, and she is the black woman. So the moment you start, disrespecting the black woman, turning away from the black woman, what you're actually doing is that you're turning away from God, and that you're actually turning away against yourself. You're turning against yourself, right? So you will always be under every other, race of people or men that doesn't, of course, looks like you, and many of these things, right? You'll always be under them, because you are putting the only God that has the ability to bring the universe, or to make the universe to take the universe back to its originality, right? Where it used to be. Because the black woman is the god of the universe. The universe, the world, the earth, it belongs to the black woman. The black woman. She was the first ever a living entity that ever walks on this planet. It was a she and it was a black woman. So that thing that they came and they say Adam or the male was the first who ever walked the planet. It was all lies and it was all false, because the black woman on her own gave birth or reproduced the male on her own. I have talked about the theory of the, you know, of the egg, right? I've talked
Yeah.
about on the
Actually, it's
previous
not a
video.
theory. When you are saying a theory,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
a mistake
it's
right there.
not
It's
a
a
theory
fact.
actually. Yeah,
It's
it's
a
a fact.
fact. It's a
Yes,
fact.
but it's up to
Yeah.
the people to accept it, that fact, to take it and research more, and yeah, and research more, and they can see that, you know, you don't and then they find their own truth. It is a fact actually.
It's a
Yeah,
fact,
you can
right?
go on. Yes.
Right. So again,
You see, I'm being obedient so that I can you can lead. Because I'm being careful, I'm being obedient so that you can lead. You can
no, no,
give me the
no.
time to talk so that I can keep quiet.
Oh, come on, Takunda, what are you saying? Of course, you're the guest, so I mean, you should talk, because the reason we need to teach, because the educational system. Again, let's touch a little on the educational system, right? Because
Yeah.
when the lies that has been been pushed, right? So what are the things, again, the women, the family? What are the things that you're feeding your children with? The educational system is broken. The educational system is defaulted. Especially the Western system of education is defaulted. It was their theory and whatever thing they're pushing out there. The ideas is based on lies. They've been pushing lies for decades, right?
Yeah.
They've been pushing lies for decades. So how, again, can we correct these things, right? How can we be able to teach, to create our own educational system so that we can be able to teach our people this truth? Because a lot of them, they want to fight you. A lot of them want to attack you. Many of these, feeble-minded men, some of them, quote unquote, because like you stated, in their ego,
Yeah.
they,
I think
they
you
don't
just
want
cut.
to
Okay,
accept any other thing aside the
yeah. You were cutting off
the
a little
teaching.
bit.
I'm cutting off.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you are now on. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You are now on. Yes, I can see you moving. Yeah. You were cutting off and on and off. Sorry. Yeah. You are now on.
All right. So I was saying that how can we be able to teach? Because if you look at the family structure, let's talk a little bit about the family structure before we go to the educational, system, and how we can be able to build our own educational system so that we can teach our people the truth, so that we can redefine the family structure. All right. So what do you think about this modern day family structure that we have,
Yeah.
particularly in Africa, or as black people globally? So what do you think about this modern day family structure? Because it's modern, right? Because again,
Yeah.
the theory by Dr. Edward Bischoff, started in 1854. So that is
Yeah.
when this whole thing, came into existence. So what do you think about this modern day family structure, and how can we reposition and recorrect these things?
Yeah, I think also, I think I once said it on the past shows. Yeah, this family structures, as we are saying, she was the leader. There were no, you wouldn't see a man like going out and to go and see another woman. What it used to happen. This is what for my sisters out there, when she realized, like the woman, when she realized that she's no longer able to serve um, the helper well, she would make a decision in the family. The woman, she will make a decision to go and find a woman for her husband. not the man going out. This is one thing that people, they don't understand. People, they say polygamy. No, she'll go actually she will make that decision to go out and go and find some, but she'll be the one, the matriarch, the one that she get all the respect because she's the leader, because she's the one. Unless or if she joins, unless or she goes into the other dimensions, that's when she was the one that she placed there. She was the one that she was going to be taking over, but she'll be the one that she'll make a decision. Those are the were family structures in our cultures, in all the cultures actually, which they are not even telling us about. So she was the one that she was going to choose, to pick, not the ones that they are doing, these kings, but I won't say the names, whereby no, she goes and no. Actually, the first one, she was the one, she's saying, okay, I'm no longer able to serve you well. I don't want to use vulgar language. Yeah, to serve you well. But now I'm going to go and find another one that she's going to assist me. So that's how it used to be, the family structure. So that's what I think also as well, we need our educational system, you know, when we can make like more like cultural, where we teach our people our ancient knowledge, where we come from, how we were evolving. So that's I think that's what we need to do, so that we can able to maintain the foundation. You know, I believe that when she's now leading, it's gonna maintain the foundation, the family foundation, and the family foundation also as well is gonna be strong.
Right, because again, when you talked about she making the decision to go and look for a helpmate to come and to go and look for another woman to come and help with the helpmate that happens to be the man. Again, I go back to the Bible, that they have always been hidden. The truth was there, but it is hidden. Now let's go back to the Bible. I'm not religious. I'm just pointing out certain of these things,
Yes.
so that our eyes can be opened, that we see that some of these things were there, but it was mesmerized and turned upside down by the patriotic system, right? So that has to do with Abraham and Sarah, right? Now look into that. Look into the story. What happened? Because when she was, I think she was 40 or I don't know what, 90 or thereabouts.
90 something. She found out that she couldn't conceive. That's when she decided.
She decided
that,
to bring in, because it wasn't the decision of
Abraham. Yes.
Abraham. It was the decision of the Sarah, the woman who went and brought in, and she decided that this is what is going to happen. And for once, look at this, because the truth was hidden there. And when they said he got angry, like the man got angry that Sarah has asked the other concubine to be put away, right? Because then he got angry that because they termed it, God is the one doing all of these things, right? But it's the feminine energy. It was the feminine God who is actually deciding and making everything, right? And he has to obey, because one, he happens to be the helpmate to the woman, but they turned it the other way around, and they said it was the woman that is supposed to be the helpmate to the man.
Yes.
You understand? Yeah. So how can, again, we will be looking at the spiritual aspect, because it all boils down to the spiritual implications. What went wrong, where, how did we come into this, into this level? What really transpired? Why did we fall down all the way from the top of the pyramid all the way down to the bottom of the pyramid? Yeah. So what happened, and how can we go back to the top? Because this we're going to be doing it in series. This is the part 2. We'll go into part 3 of this topic, because it's the information is huge, and it's something that we cannot cover just
in a one series.
So can you answer that, please?
Okay, I think I would just say, it goes. I think there is more. We need to do more involving, more talking, and also more teaching one another. Especially like involving like what we are doing. There are people in America everywhere, and also they can able to share the link. Okay, just yeah, so that they can able to share the link. Sorry, that's just 1 second.
All right.
Very good. All right. So that I think we can able to involve with our brothers and sisters maybe around the world for those ones who are interested, so that we can do this conference, we can able to discuss these things. I believe that when we begin to teach ourselves, and also when she begin to know herself, and also what role she can play and the things that she used to be, and also I think being reminded automatically, I believe that in her it will activate just like that when you begin to acknowledge that. So that's what I think that's the solution that we must do as we're going forward. Like we are doing this series, we are putting this information out there so that people, they can able to find their own truth. They can able to decide what they want to do. But as for me, yeah, I know I decided that so that we can able to, that's how it's supposed to be. Let's discuss it. Let's have seminar maybe after lockdown, when people, they are going where we can have meeting place, we can have conferences, we can go into history, we can teach each other, we can learn from one another, so that we can able to go back in the top of the pyramid.
Right. So let's look again into the spiritual, a little about the spiritual, because yeah, I think we need to have this these thoughts to our people, because we cannot keep because when we keep holding on to these lies, these European lies, they tempered with our book, right? Because the Bible is our book and our ancient history that was tempered with by this patriotic society. They tempered with it. They changed everything, right? They changed everything. They put themselves, above. We will talk about again we'll talk about cosmos. We'll talk about the space, the moon. We'll talk about extraterrestrial beings, how all of these things have been, operating, what really happened, because I came across something that, someone was stating that, in cosmos, right, you only find melanated people in that place, right, in these places, right? So, I mean, we will be touching a whole section about, these issues, because it is very important that we know. Again, it is a battle that we need both the man, the black man, and the black woman to work together collectively, right? To work together collectively. But how
Collective
can we,
consciousness, yeah.
right? But how can we work together collectively? We start with the truth. We start with the truth by telling the truth. And once you start accepting the truth, because it was easy for the black men to accept the truth that came from Europe, that they told them all these lies, they fed you with all these lies. You didn't have problem accepting all these lies because of slavery, colonization. They beat these things into you, and you have no option. And you accepted these things, and you have, you don't want to sit down and, start questioning, start asking questions, and start, how are you going to be able to decolonize your mind, away from religion, away from all of these things, that all these theories and many of these teachings that they are pushing this agenda and bringing to you. Let's do away with laziness, accepting any ideas, accepting any, studies that the West and Europe, they always bring. How about you doing your own research? How about you studying, sitting down and studying, and challenging many of these thoughts? How about you doing that and knowing yourself? I think that it is literally very important. We need to start teaching the right, the truth, facts. So it's not about feelings and emotions. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. And for some of those men who are out there complaining about the women being feminists, I want you to know that when you attack your God, when you attack your creator, when you attack the very being that breathed life into you, you are working against yourself. You're working against yourself, and you can never amount to anything. To anything. when you start respecting the black woman, when you start, recognizing that she is the God and she was the one that gave life to you alone, you didn't contribute anything to her for she to give you the life. You never did. So those lies that they fed you needs to stop. It needs to end. We need to put an end to it. We need to bring out the truth. So when we are bringing the truth, we are not saying that that you should just accept it. Please go and do research, because we want our people to wake up to consciousness, because they attacked your consciousness. They attacked your conscious mind. This is what they attacked. And when your conscious mind is being conquered, as a person or as a people, you're conquered in all aspects, physically, in every ramification. You are conquered and you will never rise. You will never rise. So it is high time that, the men begin to recognize, the black man begin to recognize the power of the black woman, the power of your God, and submit yourself. Okay, the word submit, you should be the one to speak about it, because so I think they will listen better, because if
They
I
might,
say it now, they will call me a
yes,
feminist. So you should be the one to
yeah.
say
That's what I wanted to hold you there. I said, okay, I think it's more prominent when I say it. They might come for you, but yeah, I think it comes to for us to accept it. I wouldn't want to say, yeah, I know. So for us to accept these terms, and also for us to recognize the truth. For so many years, a lot of things, it was obliterated. Everything was whitewashed. We must understand that, and we were fed a lie, and also the truth was beaten into us. And also you find out that they never allowed us to read and to write. They made us to forget who we are, where we come from. So we must come to the realization that, yeah, we must come to that realization. And also, please make the research, make a more further research into what into the sister, what she's saying. Make more research so that we can able to submit. None nevertheless, I spoke the word. None nevertheless, I spoke the word, even though I was stammering. There's one thing that I don't know if people they ever heard the president. Our president used to respect his mother. That's the late Robert Mugabe. She used to respect the mother so much because she used to acknowledge this. That's why sometimes they could never defeated him, they never conquered him, the Europeans. They never did anything. Only his military end up overthrowing him, because she used to respect mother. She used to say, every time when she cries, a man, when he cries, he say, "Oh, mother." We don't say, "Oh, father, oh, father, oh, father." When we are getting beaten, we cry, we call them the name of our mother. We saw George Floyd being put at a knee. She cried, she called the name of his mother. She didn't call the name of his father, all those things. So that's acknowledgement. Automatically, the instance clicks in you as a man to call the name of your mother when you are in trouble. That's one thing that we need to start by acknowledging, that without our mother, and our mothers, they're very important. Sometimes they raise single young men. They have that, they don't give up. So we need to acknowledge into that, and also to recognize that true as we go forward, so that we can able to conquer. Because when we begin to acknowledge the truth, that's when we can able to, that's where there's our liberation. That's when we can able to conquer. Yes. Nevertheless, I said the word, sister. Nevertheless, I spoke the word, even though it was a little bit difficult in my tongue. I was stammering. But I managed to spill it out. I'm getting better.
right. I'm glad that you're getting better. You're learning as well to to recognize the true God of the world and the earth. But the thing that again that I wanted to state is this idea of let's talk about the black men. Most of them, they always blame the black woman for everything, for everything. Why is that? That the black, some of the black men, they always blame the black woman for eventually everything, right? Could it be that because she's the god, that is why everything, all responsibilities falls back to her? Because again, if you look at how they wrote the Bible, there was a part, and the reason I'm bringing the Bible, I just want you guys to see some of these things that was hidden inside the Bible, right? That they sold to you. Now, when there was this woman that that had an intercourse with a man, right? Now they brought the woman outside and disgraced her. But the man was not mentioned in that Bible. His name, nothing was mentioned, but it was the name of the woman, and they were about to stone her to death before their quote unquote whatever Jesus or whatever Savior came and you know protected her or do what all of those things. I want you to see again that this gender war between the man and the woman is like between life and death, right? Because when you play with death, you're playing with the very thing that gave you life, and then when you come, you're always attacking. You're not giving the thing, the mother earth, the god of the earth, the god of the world, she to give, to be free, and release this. Because again, like you said, that the world is being, everything is being changed. The world is chaos now. Things are just not the way it's supposed to be. The original rules and regulations, Asian African women, they were the ones who puts the laws, the rules and regulation of the nation. And the men, they carried out these laws, these rules and regulations, right? They carried out these things, right? But today, why is it necessary? It went the other way around. It turned the other way around, and now it has to do with the men making the decision, the men putting the laws, and everything changed. Everything changed. And let's look at into the leadership. Because when you look at the family, the woman has been the one putting things in perspective, putting things in perspective, taking care of the children, doing many of these things, right? How is it that the woman taking care of her children, including the husband? The husband is the child of the woman, and also the husband, because she makes all these things, and she produced all of these things, right? She gave life. She bettered both the men. She bettered the whatever the children, all her children. And what makes them? Can we see the logic? What makes you think that the men she bettered and gave life will not have the ability to rule the nation? Because it is only the God, that can rule the nation and put things in perspective. Now, since men have been ruling the nation, the world, everything has always been in chaos because it was a defaulted. Because what did they do? They repositioned the powers that be. That has to do with the she power over the she power they placed above the place the he power above the she power, and bring down the she power that gave life to every living creatures upon this planet. They now put this she power under the pyramid, because the she power gave birth to both the sons and the daughters, right? It
That's
is
why
only
there's
the she.
consistency war.
It is only the she that can lead, that can rule, that can bring peace, that can bring things in perspective, not the he power. The he power, that since they started ruling, what have they done? Nothing. They've not done anything. Everything is chaos, war, many things is turning upside down. They're destroying so many things. And like you stated, that Mother Nature is angry. What happens to do with the she power, with the God, is angry. And the climate is changing. They're because as I'm talking to you, as we are talking, having this discussion, there is war that is going on in space, in cosmos, and in all these places. There is actually war going on there. But so that is why we have all this distraction. the distraction of this coronavirus and many of these things, right? So that people are not conscious of what is truly happening. You understand? Because things are really happening behind the scenes. Things are going on. A lot of war is taking place as we are talking. So things will change. The metrics is changing. A lot of things is changing, right? The universe is shifting. It's no longer going to be the way it is. The way it is, it is shifting. So many of these things will begin to bring and show you some of these unveiling this truth, so that we can be able to understand these powers, all right, and how to use them.
Yeah, you have said it. Yeah, you have said it. There's no much I can, uh, there is not much I can say. You have spoken. You see, that's what I'm saying. True leadership. That's why we are seeing. One thing that I'm glad. I'm seeing lot of women. Uh, taking a lead, especially spiritually, teaching young, especially young men. Actually, a lot of my messages, on YouTube, I learn quite a lot from sisters. That's where I'm learning quite a lot of things. I'm really learning quite a lot, especially in terms of spiritual things. Yeah, that's why this cosmic war, you see now the ice, it's now melting. The Atlanta there, it's now melting. Everything, she's now fighting back. She's now regaining. She's now going to the fifth dimension, just like that. She was in the kindergarten. Now she's now going to the fifth dimension. Because she is the benevolent. She is the controller of the prime universe, or all the universe. They come under her. She gave birth to everything. So we must come to that recognition, acknowledgement. It's very funny that people sometimes, I know men, for my brothers there, why is it the Catholic, the people who crafted the biblical text, the Quran, all these religion, why themselves in secret they worship the Black Madonna and all stuff? We must always ask ourselves that question. I always asked myself that question now, because I remember when I asked my uncle long ago when I was young, I said, God, can you please tell me the gender of God? They're like, are you crazy? Are you see, that's why it's written like that in the Bible. So, I don't know, something struck in me. I wanted to know. I was always a person who always wanted to know who is God, what race he is, who is she, who is he, who is she, what happened with the creation. Say, no, just take the Bible and read. That's it. I was always have this edge that I'm not getting all the answers that I need to hear. So that's when I had to go more further. I had to step out. I had to research more. That's when I end up. When you seek for the truth will always come to it. Will always find you. You always come across it. When it strikes you, you feel it within your soul, with the cause of your inner being. You will know that this is the truth. This is what I'm learning. I know some other people, they might be, we walk different paths. Some other people, it might be difficult for them to accept this truth. But when you hear it, it strikes in you. Nobody needs to convince you, to shake you. You see. Well, I gave myself this concept that if the European, they were bringing the truth to the Africans, why do they have to kill? Why do they have to beat people up for them to accept what they were offering? Because why do they have to do all those things? Why do they have to bomb? Why do they have to go in ancient structures, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in all the places, bombing them, decimated? Why do they have to do all those things? Why right now they go in every, when you discover any archaeologist or any ancient scroll, there's a European person who come and collect it quickly to Europe. Everything, they go in every ancient civilization, they go and collect ancient texts, everything, every evidence. Why it has to be like that? Someone else, when I was bumping into the truth, why they end up, gosh, I don't want this YouTube channel to be taken down, but anyway, there was one leader in the Middle East. He wanted to release this true forth they had to take him out. They had to go there and, you know, yeah, I don't want to say this. I don't want this content to be taken out. So they had to take him out. This is what I discovered. Go and find it on YouTube. You will find the truth. He had the higher truth. He saw the knowledge. He now wanted to present it to the world. I won't say the name. They end up taking him out. Just know, in the Middle East there. So they end up going there, taking him out, decimating everything, and also collecting all the ancient texts that he wanted to present to the world. They, you know, all those stuff. So that's one thing also I found out, but which I can't say. I don't want this channel to be taken down.
Right. So I have a question because you know, this, like if people were, you know, if our people are very spiritual enough to understand what is going on spiritually, and you know, the war, the fights, you know, things are changing, things are, you know, repositioning, right? Things are really happening. Things are a great awakening is happening, right? But there is going to be I don't know. There's going to be some people who would die with the lies that has been sold to them in the world and all of these things. So I want to ask a question about, you know, like this truth about that. This truth we are putting out there. When let's bring it down to the Black community. Let's bring it down to our family, right? Now, for what do you think about some of the men that might fight this truth and might resist it? What happens to them if they fight this truth? What happens to them if they keep fighting, you know, and bringing down, because that is what they were taught. That is what was beaten into them, right? To make sure that they always put their God under the bottom of the pyramid, because the African female, most of them were gods and goddesses, right? So what happens if they continue? Because this timing that we are currently in the world is a very critical one. It's literally critical that we have to be very, very careful about the things we do, about the things that, you know, we act, particularly to the Black woman. I mean, right now I'm talking to the Black men right now. So what happens if the Black men, they fight or keep fighting the Black woman and brings them down, or they refuse
accepting the truth?
They refuse to come down because they are still on the top of the pyramid. They need to come down to the bottom. That's where they are supposed to be. For the woman to go back to the top, so that there will be true liberation. There will be true, you know, how do I put it now? So things will be in perspective, so that, you know, because the world again belongs to the Black woman, the universe, the first people and the first beings on the planet were the melanated people, right? So they own the world. They absolutely own the world, right? So the white race, the cosmos, the white race, they only, you know, came into existence as a result of the gene mutating, right? So that's how they came. It was only 6,000, I think 6,000 years when they came into existence, right? So it wasn't something that was long ago. So something really transpired, you know, that we will be sharing again in the next video, or in the next series, right? So what happens if this happened? Because when it comes to, if they keep fighting the Black woman, bringing them down, because I think it is dangerous. So what is going to happen?
Okay, first of all, the consequences of us not finding the truth, also not accepting the truth, also sometimes dying with the lie. What I've discovered that it's like you kind of like have to come back again into, you weren't able to graduate into other cosmic, like into other levels of into other dimension. You keep repeating the same cycle until you end up learning this truth. These are the spiritual that's number one, when you pass on. And also number two, there are spiritual consequences, like everywhere, whatever you're going to be doing. Yes, you might succeed there, but you won't succeed to the same you won't achieve according to your same to your potential level. That's what I can say. You won't achieve the things that we were supposed to achieve to the potential level that you were created here for, that you were brought forth in this planet for. So those are the things that there are some truth that the truth that we need to end up swallowing and accepting it, and then recognizing and acknowledging it, so that we can not able to recycle. I was so surprised. There's another man who was also interviewed. It was whatever the Pleiadians, when he asked them, they are in the fifth dimension, they're in the higher dimension than our dimension. When he asked them, do you know the universal prime creator? They didn't know, but they acknowledged that she has a feminine energy. These are beings that are more advanced than we are. These are beings that are more advanced than we are, but they acknowledge that she. So also we need to, for us to climb out this dimension, right now we are moving from the third dimension. We are moving from kindergarten. We are going to the fifth dimension. So we need to acknowledge that when we move to the fifth dimension, we need to accept the truth. Believe me, I don't think if we don't accept the truth, I don't want to say put it like as a threat. I would just put it as a suggestion. Please do your own research so that you can find your own truth, because the time is running out. The world is not ending, but we are now getting into a moment of truth where the truth, it will be hard to swallow. The truth, it will be hard to accept. So that's what I can say to our brothers out there, that it's high time for us to accept the truth. So that I know it's difficult. Believe me, I was stumbling to say the word, but nevertheless, I had to admit, I had to spill it out. So I think we need to do that. So that we can able to go to the fifth dimension with this universe, with this cosmos, because it was held back for so long, because that's why it was held back in the second dimension for so years and thousands and thousands of years. But now the universal prime creator, she has decided no, she has to it's now going to the fifth dimension. So please, it goes by through acknowledging this truth and also verifying it. That's one thing that I'm loving about the sister there. She's even encouraging you guys. We are also encouraging you guys, go and verify the truth that we are giving to you, and then so that you can make your final decision.
Right. So let me put this what this Naya Supreme, she said, Sarah in the Bible did this, but the woman she got was wronged. This is the problem. But part of the woman's fault was because of how women started treating each other. So first of all, I'm not religious. I'm not religious, and many of the things in the Bible, the only thing I stated bringing that was what our guest was talking about, the ancient African tradition, whereby when it comes to polygamy, the woman makes the decision and she's the one who would decide and bring any other woman for her helper, right? So happens to be the man. Now, I want to talk that one is out of just this one when it comes to, because the patriotic system, they've actually
tempered around with
the book and rewrite and replace. They've done everything, turned everything upside down. So when you make mention of women going against fighting themselves and doing that, is where the fall begin. That is not where the fall begin. The fall begin because if you were listening, you will see where we made mention where the fall begins. Because women don't fight, in the ancient time, women did not fight themselves, because they recognized their role of as a mother, as a god, to take care. They are the creator of life. They were peaceful. They gave life to the earth. They brought every living creatures came out of them, and they put things in perspective. So when they started changing things, and they started changing things, and the woman started, they started beating many of these things, because again, when the other race of people came to our planet, and many of these things, they came with the help of extraterrestrial and non-terrestrial beings, right? They came with this help of these people, these beings. So that is where they got higher information. They got Exactly. So they came now and they look for what they can use to bring us down. And that was what they actually achieved. And then they changed the metrics and put the men above and put the women above. And that is why the laws that were written, particularly if you look at the Bible, look at many of these religious books, they wrote it without the presence of a woman. It was the group of men that came together and they wrote it on their own. Without the permission, without the invitation of any woman. You check it. They came, it was a group of men who came and wrote all of these things down. And why did they oppress the woman? Why did they put the role of a woman as, they put the woman down in every aspect? They blame, they point fingers. Now, you look at this book and see what has transpired over there. The woman has to be blamed for everything. The woman was put down. The woman was suppressed. There's a reason, like we previously stated, that you cannot be threatened by what is, by what is lesser than you. You're only threatened by what is higher than you. That is why they have to put the woman down and make sure that they distract her from her consciousness. They shift her from her consciousness. So when your conscious mind is being conquered, you are conquered in all aspects. So it is difficult for you to come back to yourself, for you to come back to your power. So they started introducing this white system or European system of medicine, their food, and many of these things. So when we started deviating, the black women, they started depending on this foreign food, this European food and their system, their health system. That is where the problem started. That is where the ancient women started menstruating. We never menstruated before. We didn't. So we started menstruating because why? You started trusting and depending on the things and your spirituality. They took away from you your ancient health system. They took away from you. These were the important things that made you who you used to be. So when you come back into eating certain of the foods that you used to eat before, when you come back into your spirituality, your spirituality and who you truly are, that is when you begin to gain consciousness. That is when you begin to come back to who you truly are. And when you start coming to self-realization, you begin to see how things are going to change. How, because of course the female god is already angry. There's a lot of anger because she has been beaten to the point that it is the world cannot withstand her anger. So this is the reason why we are saying that it is something that is a truth that is really difficult for a lot of our people to swallow. Again, the lie that has been pushed for years, we cannot keep quiet. Knowing the truth is something that we need to teach our people. We need to waken their conscious mind and bring them back to self-realization, right? Because the negative energy is what these other beings, because currently in the world that we are living with reptilians. They're already here. They're working against us. They've conquered the world. They're already here. They feed on your negative energy, the negative energy that you put out there. They feed on this thing. This is their food. So when they keep triggering your emotions, triggering your feelings, and you release this energy, this negative energy, it's very important that you take control over your emotions, over your feelings. You don't give them to feed on these things. That is why we will keep being conquered as a people. Do you understand? So now what we need to do now is to discuss how can we, come back to that place where we used to be, so that we can be able to save our children, so that we can be able to, our children, meaning the men and the female, our children, everyone. How can we save our children and save our race and our people? How can we do that? We need to go back to consciousness that extend the spiritual aspect. When we enter this dimension, about the spiritual dimension, so that we can be able to understand that. But look at the black woman. You are the only set of people now that run towards every other spirituality, that runs towards, you have stepped every other spirituality and lies. Why is it that your spirituality is being targeted, so that you will not know yourself and come to self-realization and actualization. So once you do that, you will see automatically how things are going to change very swiftly. Things are changing, but the pace is really slow. It's very slow because a lot and majority of us are still sleeping. So that is why the consciousness, we are waking the conscious mind of our people. We want them to wake up to the truth. We want them to stop feeding themselves with the lies that they have been pushing for years, for decades. Because when you know the truth, it is difficult for you to keep on running with these lies and with this their ideology. That's why I
And
stated,
repeating the same mistake.
And repeating the same mistakes, because I believe that history does not repeat itself. It is ignorant people that keep repeating history, right? So the thing is that's why I stated in my previous video that Black people should never depend on the Western system, Western health system. That is where you're being, that is where in fact, they damaged you. In the patriotic system, they are still studying about the Black woman. They have license to study about you. They are still studying about the Black woman. I'm hearing echo. Where is echo coming from? So they still study about about the Black woman. So I want you to understand that you cannot depend on this system, this health system. This health system it has damaged you. It is killing your organs, everything about you. It is damaging, and they are giving you these toxic substances that has to do with vaccine, things that things that are not natural. The modern earth is nature. So everything that you should absorb should be from nature and not these substances they're putting into your body. They call it vaccine, they call it many things. They give you all of these artificial things. So when you keep absorbing these artificial things, it blocks your conscious mind. You cannot wake up. How can you wake up to consciousness? You cannot. So what are they doing? They're distracting you. It is difficult for you to focus. You cannot focus. You're always distracted. You're everywhere. Your mind is just everywhere. You're not focused. You can't come back to yourself. So that is why we have all of these things that is taking place. And again, you cannot depend on this system, the world system. It's a defaulted system. It's a system that is perpetuated by lies. That is why I say there is nobody that is a leader that should lead over any other person. You were created leaders. You were made leaders. You were born leaders, not supposed to be ruled by anybody whatsoever. I'm going to define again what the word, the original meaning of the word warrior. Warrior, it originally meant not being afraid of who you are, not being afraid of who you are as a person. But today the word is not changed, right? It's all about slash him up, cut him off, betrayal, many of these things, right? It wasn't supposed to be like this. So we need to come back to our original self of who we truly are as a people, going back to eating what we used to eat before, because when we shifted into eating these, artificial food, these things that were not natural, it is not supposed to be what we ate. We started menstruating. We started menstruating as women, and I've stated, during menstruation, you look at the loss, the things that the women they lose. They lose calcium, they lose thyroxine, they lose iodine, they lose phosphorus, lecithin, vitamin E, vitamin B1, 6, 12, 26, magnesium, iron, copper, zinc. These things are very essential. So when you lose all of these things, right, and some women, they menstruate from puberty till death on a constant, on a daily basis. Now you understand, and some men, they say women are acting crazy. How can someone who loses such amount of blood, amount all of menstruate from puberty to how do you think the person you wonder why women are very agitative. You wonder why women are having migraine, headache, and many of these things. It's as a result of all of these things, and you understand. So I have stated again that calcium stabilizes the nervous system. Phosphorus is found in all healthy normal cells, right? Iodine causes the growth and milkiness of the thyroid gland, and this is why the thyroid gland in women tends to swell when menstruating. So you going to the doctors for many of these things, for them to further, take your money and many, to give you more lies. Do not depend on this health system. It is full of lies. You can be your own doctor and treat yourself by going back to what you used to do, by going back to your spirituality, by going back to the food, the natural organic food that you used to eat. This is how you can treat yourself. Depending on all of these artificial things, you cannot be healed and you cannot come to consciousness. They're giving you toxic substances to make you distracted, never to come back to consciousness. They're attacking your conscious mind. You understand?
Yeah. Also, what I'm loving sometimes when I check on Instagram, I'm seeing a lot of sisters, especially in America. They are now they have shops of herbs, and I think, am I echoing, or maybe should I? Yeah. They are now having pharmaceutical company like of herbs and organic stuff, organic seeds, and all this stuff. I think for those ones who are in the United States, I think you can account to that. You see so many sisters, there are many sisters there who are more having now the awareness. I think this this realization now, I think it's now there even in the United States, in the United Kingdom. We're now seeing our sisters doing that. I think I support you. I think you need to go back to those things also. That's it would be a very good advice for our sisters, so that they can be themselves. They can be these people who can take this role again, this being in top of the pyramid again. So that's what I would acknowledge to my sisters out there. I wouldn't want to talk too much. I would allow so that she might lead the way. It is very interesting, but yeah, I'm beginning to get hang of it. I'm beginning to get hang of it, and also to accept the truth now. Yeah, I think when the year ends, believe me, I'm also going to I'm going to the fifth dimension. But I think, no jokes aside, but I'm being honest that this is the truth that we must accept as our brothers out there who gonna watch this video. Please find your own truth. Yeah. So, and also, yeah.
Right. So we will be closing very soon. So if you have any question, you can put it in the chat room. You can put your questions in the chat room.
Yeah.
You can put your questions in the chat room. We're going to answer. Please make sure to like, share this video, with friends and families. Do not keep the truth, so we need to teach. Let's just talk a little bit about our educational system, right? Because our people, they pay so much money, to go further indoctrinate themselves from the same people who's tempered with the truth, hide the truth from them, the people who's, sold lies to them, and how can they tell you the truth? How can they give you the truth? They changed the our ancient educational system, right? They changed it into a modern system of education, into their system of education. It is for a reason that they did that, right? So that you will not know yourself, come back to consciousness, right? So when we begin to start bringing the right information and in the truth, and we put it there. So how can we get it across our people? Because, again, the educational system is targeted, in Africa, the Black, educational system, because what type of information are we exposing our people and our children to, because again, we cannot keep allowing them feeding our people with the lies that they have been, feeding us for decades to keep us docile, to keep us indoctrinated, to become loyal slaves, and all of this. And so how can we change? How can we change these things? Particularly our educational system.
Yeah, what I can say, how can we change these things? What I do know that our governments, you see, they get sponsored. They are so indoctrinated, so they get sponsored. I think there's an individual choice. Like people, we can start educating our kids, like especially like at home, having groups, having people reorganizing themselves, starting spreading out this knowledge to kids, and also that's what I do believe. Actually, when I saw another sister, she was like, she's very glad that her kids, because right now, I heard that the European system now, it's now they want to push so that the lockdown can end, because they know that when kids are no longer going to school, when they are now learning home learning, there's no much indoctrination. So now they're trying to, especially here in Africa. I was just talking to another sister from Kenya. She was saying now they are now pushing for kids to go and being indoctrinated. So I think also as parents, as sisters, as mothers at home, I think we can begin to teach our kids, I think, at home, and also this educational system, because it will take a little bit time. But yeah, the matrix, it is falling. The matrix, it is falling. So that's what I would say to my brothers and sisters out there in the world, that we must start to teach ourselves. Charity begins at home. And also charity begins when you begin to accept the truth yourself, and also researching the truth for yourself, so that when you go there, when you teach other people, and also sometimes I would say to our people, when you are teaching people, please deal with those who wants to accept the truth. For those ones who don't want to accept the truth, leave them. They will come. Eventually they will realize that what you are saying is the truth, because the truth, let's not go like and do it like the Europeans, the way they did it, to beat people up for them to know the truth, or to shout it into the people. But I think what we can do is to say the truth the way it is. Believe me, when I heard it myself, it struck me. It struck the inner conscious of me. I begin to know it. So the truth will always stand, will always be, because that's the universal truth. That's the cosmic truth. So it will always be. You might argue with it, but that's the point. So I think it's about, we have to go there and teach the people. It will strike into their conscience, and then they will begin to acknowledge this truth. For those ones who don't want to acknowledge, it's like they have a saying that, you can take the horse to the river, but now it's up to the horse to decide to drink the water. So let's not do like the Europeans, where they took the water, their salty water, their sour water, and closed the nose and and then made us to drink it by force. That's what they do. But because when you are giving the higher truth, I always believe in this. This is the theory. You say it, you put it there, and then the person decides. That's all I would say to my family out there, to our melanated family, to our global family there, that's what we must do, and as we are going out there.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll be closing now, but we are going to have a part 3 of this stream. So we keep educating our people and all of that, right? So thank you so much, Brother Takunda, for your contribution. Thank you so much for honoring this family. I'm really appreciative.
Yeah, and the people in the chat. Yes.
Right, and thank you so much everybody for your support. Please share this live stream. Please share it with friends and family, so that we can awaken the conscious mind of our people. And I will see you soon. And you have a wonderful day, and stay true, and keep sharing the truth. Stand up for the truth. Go and do your own research, right? So that you can understand the truth. Go and confirm everything that we have said, because it is not about feelings. It is not about emotions. It is about the truth. It's about facts. So when we keep, when we bring certain things, I want you all to please go and do your own research and reconfirm everything that we are saying. right? So we are open to correction. We are open to truth. We are open to whatever facts you're going to bring. We will accept it because we all want us to progress. We all want us to, to run with the truth. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. So have a wonderful day, and goodbye. Thank you.